Welcome everyone to a new chess analysis game in my Road to Class A series. This is game number 10 in the series, and I believe that this will be round 4 of my first tournament of 2024. So I'm rather excited. Let's dive into it. As always, if you enjoy this type of video, please like and share. It helps me out, shows me that you like this type of content and you want to see more. I enjoy educating all of you, so if you find this useful, that helps me. That's the most, if I was able to help one person play something, I'm very excited. And that is the most important thing to me, is that I've helped somebody improve and get better at chess. So, okay, let's take a look. All right, so this is round 4. Also, leave comments down below if you find lines or sequences or ideas. Also, when I ask questions about where they are or what moves to play or what ideas, please make those comments where you're at. Let me know what move you're talking about. Say, oh, move 5. Why didn't you play this? Or, you know, ask questions. I'm happy to help and answer anything that might come up. So, all right, let's dive into the game. So, round 4 of the Winter Swiss at my local chess club in Waukesha was with Charles Carreros. Now, I was supposed to play another opponent, and the pairings changed at the last minute. And so I was supposed to have white, and so I studied ready opening all week, and I did no study on my prep for black because I was expecting to play white. So the pairings changed. Some people weren't able to make it to the club, which is quite a common occurrence. So I don't know why I prepped for my opponent. But lesson learned again. I've learned that lesson many times, so I'm going to stop doing it. But, excuse me. All right. So I got paired with Charles, and Charles is around my age, and he just recently came back to the club maybe 2 months ago or so. So he's on his way back to getting into over-the-board chess. And he played previously like I did, and he's around 1500. So, all right, let's get into the game. Oh, to note, I'm 1640 right now, and my opponent is 1500. So this is no game. This is a game that I should be able to win, but I do have to be careful because 1500s can be very tricky, and this is a good testing game for me. So I'm excited. And right out of the gate, my opponent played b4. He plays the Polish opening. I believe it's its real name. I think it also goes by the orangutan. So this is kind of interesting. Of an opening. I have never played against it, not even online, and I can't remember if I've ever even seen it in practice, just for fun. So this is new to me. I've never seen this, so I'm out of my book at this point. So now I'm kind of in my idea of, okay, I only need to play my normal setup as a King's Indian defense player. So I'm going to go from there. D6, I play 1d6 no matter what they play, and he played b5, which to me, I was just like, what, dude, what are you doing? Why are you making all these pawn moves? What is happening here? Because like I could just play c5, or I could play c6 and then take it. There's so many, I don't understand this opening at all. So maybe somebody that is a Polish or orangutan player, could you leave some comments down below and let me know what the plans and ideas are with this opening? Is it just to confuse players, or I'm assuming there is some like lines and known theory about this opening and what some of the plans and ideas are, but I certainly do not know what they are supposed to be. And is, you know, I looked in the Masters Lichess database, and there was no games played in this position. So I'm in territory. I'm in my own territory at this point. So that's fine. So I think the line that I found was, you know, this is the critical line in the Lichess database. This is master stuff. So I just continued on playing knight to f6. I'm just going to try to get my setup and go from there. I probably should have just played e5 and just went with basic opening principles. Control the center, get both pawns in the center, develop your pieces as quickly as possible, get castled early, and go from there. I didn't do that. I was so concerned about getting my own setup, and he played c4. I was also confused by this move. Why are you not trying to get castled sooner? But so to me, I was thinking, oh, maybe he wants to castle queenside. Okay, that's fine. I saw this and thought, okay, this is still okay, mainly because I'm going to fiend shadow my bishop to here, and he's going to have permanent dark square weaknesses because I have the bishop pair, and to me that's good. So plans and ideas here would be to control the dark squares and then blow up the centers and try to smash as many pawns as possible to open lines for my bishops. So positionally anyways. He played that, and now I'm going to finish my development. And he played e3. It looks like he's going to try to get a big pawn center by playing d4 and then have this really nice, pawn chain that I'm going to have to contend with, which is okay because now he's giving me a bunch of targets. So I was expecting him to play d4 or delay it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm castled. I've got my setup, and now I can figure out how to move from here. He played bishop e2, and I thought, well, okay, maybe he's going to castle kingside, but that kind of, if you were going to castle kingside, why didn't you just kind of go through and do that right away? So I was a little not understanding how he's going to progress in this game. So he successfully got me confused with his direction, which was fine. All right, I'm gonna finally take control of the center, and if he plays d4, then all right, I will continue on, and we will move from here. And this I did not really like this position that much, so that's why I didn't really go for or allow the trade. So I believe what I was going to play was knight b to d7 and then play this way, because then if he takes here and here, this is okay for black. I like this actually quite a bit. Yeah, these pawns are really advanced, but they're going to become targets, and this bishop or this knight are going to have to try to hang on to this pawn. So I was like, okay, I like that. Those things didn't happen in the game. He played h3, and another surprising move. I was like, what's happening here? I don't understand. So I was like, well, okay. Knight b to d7, and I am going to be able to get this square here, or control here, or whoops, put it back. Come on, put it back to f6, which to me I think would have been fine. So that's my idea here. At this point in the game, in the full database of all the games played on Lichess, this has only been seen 4 times total, and one was bullet, the other 3 were blitz. So this is not classical chess that has really been played, or these positions haven't been seen, at least from any online material that I found. And when I looked in ChessBase, I didn't see any either. This position hasn't been seen before. So and then he played d3, and I'm really kind of confused on what's going on, because okay, he doesn't want to contest the center. All right, that's fine. He's letting me kind of do whatever I want to do. I have to figure out how best to proceed. I still need to develop my light squared bishop, and I think the best place for it is on b7. That's at least what I'm thinking about in the game. So I made a plan to come up with that, and I played rook to b8 as a prophylactic move to see. I want to see what he's going to do and how he's going to proceed. And I was thinking he might try to do some sort of pawn attack on the king side and then castle queen side. I had this thought that this might be how he goes, and he played g4. And I thought, wow, okay, it's really premature. And then I'm also looking at he played 7 pawn moves out of 9 moves. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has moved twice. 7 and only 2 developing moves, and I've got almost my full army developed. So he's been making a lot of pawn moves, and I kind of picked up on this right away, and I said, well, I think he's expecting, black to maybe dictate the play, or he mentioned to me after, he's like, yeah, I wanted to attack you on the king side, and he's like, I don't think my attack worked. And I asked him, I'm like, well, why did you think it was going to work? He said he didn't think it was going to, he didn't think he could be fast enough. And I said, well, at this position on move 9, I've got 3, maybe 4 pieces protecting my king along with all my pawns, and you only are attacking with these 2 pawns. Yeah, these are back here, but they're not really attacking. They're pointing towards h5, so they're not really in the attack. This rook might be in the attack, so in order to have a successful attack, you need to have at least 2 more pieces. Sorry, let me change those. At least 2 more pieces than I have defending. And right now I've got 4 pieces, maybe 5 if you count my rook, and you've only got 1. So if you're going to go through our pawn storm, you're going to need to castle, get both your knights over here, and then get your rooks behind. And then you can come castle or come attack me. But right now, just lashing out with pawns isn't going to work. And he's like, yeah, I just don't think it was fast enough. So I told him, I'm like, you made a lot of pawn moves, and I think that's where you ran into problems. I think you needed to get castled earlier and then get your pieces and move towards the queen side. Like, if you follow the pawn structure, my pawn structure points this way, so I should be playing on the king side. His pawn structure points this way, so he should be playing on the queen side. So if you're unclear on where you should be playing and what side of the board, just go to whichever way your pawns are pointing. That's the way. It's an arrow. It says go that way, go that way. Look at where you have all this space. You have all these, white has all these squares over here to play with. So you want to try to break through on the H file or the C file. And then green, I want to start playing over here. So if you look at chess that way, you can go through and figure out how best to play. So my opponent from here played G5. So now he's played another pawn move. We're on move 10, and he's played 8 pawn moves out of 10. That's crazy. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to move back. He's got to protect that pawn because now I'm attacking it with my queen. And now I'm kind of unsure what white's going to do, because is he just going to try to break through with h5? He's not castled. His king is stuck in the center right now. He still has to develop a couple pieces before he can castle. Castling king side seems a little bit shaky. I don't think you should do that. That would be kind of not good because all of my pieces are pointing that way. So the plan should be to castle queen side and kind of move that way quickly, or just stay in the center. So I'm kind of unsure how he's going to proceed. So I was like, well, I'm just going to continue with my development and gain control of the center a little bit more. And he played rook to h2. I think his best testing option should have been bishop to f3 to challenge my bishop, or at least break it off so I don't have more on the king side. But he didn't play that. But you have to be careful with this this variation here, because now you're attacking 2 pieces. So I don't know that he can maybe even play that. Maybe knight to f3 was probably the best option. even then, I think that's really tough to do. But reason being, if we play this, then he has this, and I think we're doing okay. Um, Actually, we're not, because we have this, and we attack 2 pieces at once. So that's bad. He can't do that. So he can't move anything. Is in a tough spot. So moving the rook is, maybe that is the best move. Yeah. Either way, it's really tough. So now I said it's time to, I've got my pieces where I want them. I always have F5 on deck. I want to get my bishops active. I want to blow up the center because he's not castled. So positionally, I'm safe. Even if he pushes h5, I'm safe. I can always take back with one of my pawns. And if he takes, I can take back here, and then I gain this big file. So any of those are fine. So I said, I'm going to open up with d5. I want to blow up the whole center and just get pawns going. And this was the first time I spent quite a while thinking. This was my first critical move of the game. Well, not critical, but this is the one I spent a bunch of time on, d5, which was move 12. Yeah, I spent 5 minutes on this move, trying to figure out if I should play d5 or e5 or e4 or c5 or c6, or, you know, I had all these ideas in my head, but ultimately I thought this was best because I can always move my knight to here. And then control more of the center. So I thought this was really good. Also gives me my other knight can come here. I like all these ideas. The other thing that I thought was interesting is I've used 25 minutes, and at this point in the game, my opponent has only used 7. We have 140 minutes. Or not 140 minutes. We have an hour and 40 minutes plus a delay of 5. So we have plenty of time, and I've spent a good amount of time trying to get through. I spent over a half hour, about a half hour trying to get through the opening, and we're probably nearing the end of it. And my opponent has spent less than 7. So he's moved really, really quickly. The other thing, this was F5 was one of the moves I considered. And I saw this and I was like, well, this has to be winning. Thought this was fine. So I was okay with that. So I always had that move, but ultimately I thought this was a better move. Mainly because if F5 and he decides some sort of other pawn move, I felt like it might have a greater potential for getting locked. And then this becomes maybe stronger at some point when he's ready. So if this happened. Now, I'm okay with this at this point because no, I don't want to go forward. I want to change. Because now this is, things are going to get bad fast. Actually, no, he can't do that. He can't move there. That would be a mistake if he did that. Because I can take here, and then this would actually then this would happen. Yeah, okay, fine. Then he'd have to take here. I guess I could take here and then here. Yeah, this is rough. His king's not castled. He can't castle kingside. Things are gonna look pretty bad. Yeah, tough way to go. But I ultimately went with this. I opened things up, and he played knight to d2, and I think this was an inaccuracy. I think he should have taken on c5, or I think he should have done this, and kind of went for something like that, and just decided to keep his king in the middle, and then moved all his pieces to defend. I think should have been the best way to go. He didn't like that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to offer the most complications by playing c6. And yeah, this was good. So he stopped with a4, which I think is a good move. And e5 or c5, I think, was my mistake. I think I should have played knight c5 and played this way. I think this is okay for me. If he takes here and here, yeah, we're in a good spot. I think all of this is good because then we get this open file. It's rough. No matter what he does, I think it's rough. I think I also had this as a move too. If he tries to lock it down, we'll just do that, maybe. Yeah, and then this. I don't know. It gets really messy, which is good. I think that's good for me. But I decided to stop that, and he played knight to h3. And here, I think this was a mistake. This was kind of some hope chess. I was creating some tactics because this comes here and comes here, and I don't think it's very good. I think right here I should have played e4, and that was definitely something I had considered. But after talking to my trading partner Evan, he had mentioned e4 here was probably most likely winning, and I have to agree. Maybe not winning, but it's very strong. Everything's gonna go kind of blow up and kind of open up wide. So I think it's gonna be very good. We need to open lines, and I think that's the best way. So I didn't play that. I allowed him to play this because I saw this sequence. I also saw this sequence, and I was okay with all of that. And then he'd have to try to protect both his pawns. But yeah, I got my wish, and he played this way. And I still got my wish because now he's got to protect both these pawns and hang on to them. And now, at this point, I have a target. I want to get myself to this square here, and I create a plan around going through that. Now I need to maneuver pieces. I've got okay space, so now I can just maneuver my pieces and try to get to the outpost. Even if he gets castles queenside, I'm not too worried about it. When I talked to him during the postmortem, he didn't want a castle queenside because I always had this, and then he didn't think he could stop any of that. So he went through, and here I have to kind of be a little bit careful with that push. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to continue my plan. I stopped this way, and I'm protecting the pawn. He castled queenside, getting and gaining control here, and then also getting his rook over here for this particular attack, but it's too slow. I think this was a wasted move too. I think he should have tried to continue with his plan faster. He just didn't execute his plan fast enough, but it doesn't work either way. I get my wish, I get my knight in, he moves his queen, and now I decide, well, my bishop is stifled by this, that's ultimately why he told me he played f3, is to stop for my bishop. But I'm going to reroute my bishop to e6 so I can attack this pawn. And now I have to be a little bit careful because if he moves his knight, this pawn's under attack, and I have to be able to defend it. And I need to defend it without a queen, otherwise I'm trading a queen for 2 rooks, and I didn't think that was good. So I played rook e7, and maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I should have just played knight f7. I don't know. I like the way I played it, but I feel like there might have been a better way to play it. And bishop to f1, bishop to e6, and I did calculate this from back here when he moved here. And I saw all of this, and it actually happened, which to me I was pretty happy with my calculation in this particular instance. And I thought, well, if he decides to trade, I'm going to trade queens instead of trading his bishop and losing a tempo. So I got my queen to a better position while he did all the trading of the bishop. So I thought this was nice. And here I think this was his decisive mistake, because this allowed me to have counterplay against the c file. I don't think he can take that knight at all. I think he just has to be okay with it being there and deal with anything else. So if he doesn't take, my idea is to get my other knight right here to support it and then maybe jump in here. Those are my ideas. And then pile up on the D file with my rooks. So, whoops. Oh my goodness. Let's move all these lines. So we want to move this rook here, this rook here. We want to get this knight to here and then go from there. So those are the kind of ideas that we want. And I think this is positionally one for black at this point. So he takes, and I think this is just an actual critical mistake because now he gives me some open lines, and now this pawn is extremely weak. He's stuck defending it with his queen and his knight, and I've got, whoops, wrong colors. I've got 2 pieces attacking. I'm going to get 3. I can get 4 very fast. So he has no way to really cover stopping me from getting that pawn. So he goes for it, and I decide to maneuver, and he stopped it. He's got 3 pieces on that piece. I've got 3 pieces on that piece. So this is the critical thing. I thought about just coming here and going after it, and I thought, well, his next move is going to be here, right? So I thought, well, I'm going to go a different route. I want to bring my knight here and then either here or here. And I saw this as a critical square. And can you see why that's a critical square? Leave some comments down below. Pause the video, try to figure it out. Why is the C5 square the critical square in the position? Pause the video, leave some comments, let me know down below. If you're on the stream, go ahead and mention why you think that's an actual good square and what's the significance of that square, if you know. All right, so I came here with the idea of bringing my knight to C5 or A5. So that's the answer. And if you can guess what's happened, the game ends very quickly. My opponent played rook to C1, and the game is pretty much over after the next move. Can you find the move? And if you commented from the last move before, you already know. And if you didn't and you didn't see it, here's the answer, and here's the game-winning move. Forking the king and the queen. And my opponent resigned here. Overall, I think it was a really great game. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. Unfortunately for my opponent, he kind of played into my style of chess. I don't think he really knew that he was playing into my style of chess. I like a slow maneuvering game. I like maneuvering my knights and moving pieces around and coming up with plans and ideas that are slow and very methodical. I like this play a lot, and this is the type of play that I thrive in. I do not thrive in tactical, sharp, open positions, so that's why I'm actually trying to play them. But my opponent actually played into something that I'm very strong in. I think I could have played this game a lot better than I did. So I'm a little rusty from being off for 6-8 weeks, but I think overall I'm pretty happy with my play of the game. Pretty decisive positional factors in this game. I think the key moments were that my opponent played a lot of pawn moves and did not really use his pieces to play that much. And we talked about it in post-mortem. He knew that this was a major blunder, and he realized it as soon as I made the move. He's like, oh, geez, I can't believe I missed that. So a rough day for him. I felt kind of bad, but it happens. But we had a really nice post-mortem, and it was really good. So, he's only back, 6-8 weeks, so he doesn't have a lot of time to study. So he definitely wants to study more, and I think when he does, he's going to ramp right back up to where he was. So yeah, overall, a great game, and I enjoyed this game quite a bit. So thanks to Charles. I ended up finishing my I ended up finishing my tournament. Actually, first of all, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please comment, like, share. It really helps me out. Shows me that you want to see more. And I do appreciate you guys all for watching. And stay tuned for the next few tournament games that'll be coming after I play my next tournament. Thank you very much.